With most of the Valentine's Day and President's Day sales wrapping up, it's time to switch to reverse sourcing so we can look at some storefronts that might have some profitable products. My name's Alex with SellerAmp. Let's jump on the computer and start sourcing. All right, so we're on Amazon here. The easiest way to get started, especially when you're using SellerAmp, is just typing in a brand that you are well aware of into the search bar, because we're just going to look for that first product and then we can bounce off of other sellers once we find that first product, right? The first product doesn't have to be a home run, but we do need a brand that is going to be worth looking at. So for me, the easiest brand is going to be, a clothing brand like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Champion, one of those brands. So we'll just start with Nike. So I'm just going to search Nike, right? Because it's going to bring up a bunch of different Nike listings. And based on who's on those listings, we can find some good storefronts that probably have some profitable leads. So we're just going to look at some of these. Here we have a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, some sweatpants. Because spring is coming, we're going to go with something that's a little more geared towards spring. Don't want sweatshirts or sweatpants, although those still could be selling pretty well. We're going to look at something like a shorts or a t-shirt. I guess a long sleeve shirt probably works as well. So let's try this. So we're just going to open this listing here, and then we're going to wait for SellerAmp to load up, and we are going to look at specifically some of the storefronts that are selling that product. All right, so we can see SellerAmp here. This product is selling for $54.95. This is the black medium crew neck. So we can check Google to see if this product specifically is profitable, but if not, there's a bunch of sellers on this listing. So especially this variation that we can look at, we can see there's 21 offers. So we could look at all of these and see if, any of them have other good products in their storefront. So let's just take a look at this product specifically. So we're just going to click the Google button. It's going to search the title of this product in Google, see if we can find a direct match. Our max cost here is $28.29. So that's what we need to find this product for. Again, we're looking for that fleece crew neck. This is kids. Otherwise, that price would look pretty decent. Looks like Nike's selling it for $60. A couple of their other colors are only $29. That would have been ideal, but doesn't look like we're going to find specifically. Okay, so we have this is jersey. We need fleece. So it looks like the fleece is just not on sale. So what we can do, again, we're not super bummed that this product specifically isn't profitable, because we're going to look at the storefronts that have this product because they obviously bought this profitable at some point. We can see on the price charts, the price history, this was $64 at one point, down to $55, not a big deal there, but they were probably buying it profitably, at that $65 range. So we're going to scroll down and look at some of these storefronts. Now, the storefronts you want to look for are ones that, if there's enough storefronts to look there, if there's only a couple, you can probably look at all of them. But if you're looking for specific storefronts and you have a lot to choose from like we do here, ideally I'm avoiding storefronts that have a ton of reviews. And by a ton, I mean over 500 or 600. And then also storefronts that don't have any reviews, because we want to see that, if the chances, if they have 20 to 50 to 100 reviews, they've probably been selling on Amazon long enough. So their catalog might be a little bit larger. So we're not wasting time clicking back and forth between storefronts that have 10, 20 products, right? So this one here, 17, that's great. 11, that's good. 3, a little low, but still worth looking into potentially. 17, 31, 118. Now that's the one that I like to see. Not a great review, 3.5 stars, but either way, there's plenty of reviews there. So that tells me that they've been selling for quite a while. 291, that's also pretty solid. But let's look at this one first just to see, because they do have more reviews. There's a good chance that they have, a decent amount of products in their storefront. Yeah, 336 products here. So they do have some Nike, but they also have a bunch of other brands that we can look at, which is a good sign, right? If they're good at finding Nike, hopefully that means they are good at finding some other brands as well. So what I like to look for here, I like to sort by either a category or a brand, so we can focus in on, one specific thing, especially if some websites are running sales on a specific brand, right? Then we can narrow down and be more efficient while sourcing. So we're going to sort by Nike first. We can definitely look at some of these other products here. But let's just take a look at Nike and see what makes sense here. So I'll walk through the analysis of a couple of these products, and then I'm just going to do some live sourcing for you guys to walk you through how quickly I like to get through products, how quickly I get through storefronts, see if we can find something profitable by the end of the video. So we see this kids sock here, 6-pack. So 10K rank, that's what I like to look at first. Definitely a solid rank, right? That's going to sell super fast in the clothing category. Basically anything below 150 to 170K rank in clothing is going to be something that I'll at least test by if the product makes sense. Then next, I'm looking at maybe the price history chart. Is Amazon selling the product? Amazon doesn't sell Nike, so we don't have to worry about that here. I also like to look at the history, right? It was obviously selling like above 35, back in December. Now the price has kind of bottomed out at like 26, 27. So not ideal, right? But we can see that if we can find it profitable here, that's a good sign. There are 48 offers on the listing, so that's what I'm looking at next. And I want to see what price are these listed at. So the buy box is $31.99, but a lot of sellers are listed below that price. So that tells me that maybe one seller, got lucky and got the buy box higher than what we think we could get it for. So if we're getting this for $26, that means the max cost is probably actually going to be lower because this max cost is going off of that $31.99 price. So $14 might be reasonable to find a 6-pack of kids socks. But, if we're down to 26, this is probably going to be closer to $10 or $11, which is going to be a little bit trickier. So this product I probably wouldn't look into, again, because the max cost is going to be hard to find. We see that the price is kind of at a pretty much a low in the last 3 months. If we were sitting, above $30, then it might be a little bit worth more looking into, just because we are more trustworthy that this price will hold for us. Because the price is a lot lower, it's just a little bit too risky, and it's going to waste time for me looking at that type of product. So I'm going to avoid this product specifically, just because, again, I'm going to do a bunch of analysis probably for nothing because I won't be able to find the product. If you really want to, if you're skeptical and you think, well, maybe we can find it, and you've done enough analysis here, like SellerAmp gives you enough information here to at least decide if it's worth looking into. So what we can do is just click the Google button. Let's just search this product on Google right away. If we don't think we can get it even close to $14, then we know, if this is cheaper and this buy box is lower than 12 is not even in the question. So we don't have to go into the Amazon page, look at all the data, right, and then make a decision and then go to Google there. We're skipping a step here, hopefully speeding up our sourcing process. So we'll just click the Google button here. Again, we don't see a big search here, but we can go to shopping and then hopefully see something that's a little bit. So we have some kids socks on Shop WSS, $14.99. Again, not the quite, we don't know what variations or what sizes are even going to be listed at $31.99. So again, we're not seeing too many that are going to be close to the price that we need. So not worth looking into. Kind of what I suspected, but if you're skeptical and you're not understanding of the data here, definitely can do a little Google search, but we're trying to be as efficient as possible here. So again, I knew from this information, didn't need to look into the product further because probably weren't going to find it profitably. We confirmed that with the quick Google search. And now we're on to the next product. So same thing here. We're going to see a 5K rank. It's a 3-pack of boxers. The price is actually really steady on this one. So that's a much more favorable chart than the one above with the socks. We look at the prices here, right? All in the low 40s, which is good to see. The buy box is also in the low 40s. It's not like we saw here where the buy box is 31, but a lot of sellers are below that price with a high stock count, right? $26 with a lot in stock. Kind of a red flag. But here we see people in stock, with the $40, $41. So that's a good sign. And the buy box is at 41. So this max cost is probably pretty accurate. $20 for a 3-pack of boxers. Again, I don't really know offhand if that's good or not, but the information here with the steady chart, offers 31, not horrible, a good rank, and the max cost seems reasonable. This is definitely a product that I would look into further, right? And maybe I want to open the Amazon listing so I get all the information before doing a Google search. If you have enough information here, right? If you think, okay, I probably know that this could be worth it if we just found it at the right price, then we can skip that, opening the Amazon step, going right to Google, and then hopefully finding this at the right price here. So we can see Nike has cotton blend for boys, but again, we need spandex boxer brief. So we need to make sure that we have the right match here. $45, this is like what it's selling for, or even higher than what it's selling for. So we would need this on a pretty big discount to be able to find it profitably. We see Snipes has this micro boxer brief. So this is similar, but it's not quite the same variation. If this is a variation listing with a bunch of different colors, then maybe we can get this cheap enough, on Snipes, because it looks like they do have a couple different, products and different variations. So I think that's worth looking into for me, because if there is variations, which I would assume there is, a 5K rank is good enough where some of the slower selling variations still sell enough where we can, purchase this profitably. So let's open the Amazon listing. Again, we need a little bit more information to understand which ones we're looking at here. So we can see that Snipes has this polyester spandex 3-pack for $24.99. So let's take a look at this. And this is $24.99. Big cash back on Snipes, which is great. This is 44% off currently, but we have the black and white. So this is XL, small, and 2XL. So we just need to make sure that we have that exact variation. So we're going to be looking for, right, the white band with all black. If they don't have it, again, that's something we just understand and move on from. So we're not spending a bunch of time. Here is the match here. That's good. Good to see. All right, for the XL variation, right, we're seeing $49.99. It's selling for max cost $28. So we're going to be super profitable here. We go to Snipes, we see it's for $24.99, right? But subscribe and save. So they have 10% off for signing up for the email. So always look at the website that you're on. Double check if they have that extra discount, because a lot of them will give you 5 or 10% just for signing up for emails. So definitely put your email in here. We get $24.99. We can use this as a calculator, multiply by 0.9. That's giving you 10% off. We're buying this for $22.49, $13, almost $14 profit, 62% ROI. That's really good for clothing. Again, this whole listing sells very quickly. So, in an XL size for a 3-pack that's black and white, that's going to be a pretty common size, right? Mostly the blacks, the whites, the grays are going to sell the fastest in clothing. And then medium, large, XL are probably your most common sizes. So this is definitely a great find here, and we're pretty early on. So you can see there's not a ton of offers on this listing, which is good, low competition. And what we could do from here, what I like to do a lot of times is if I do find a solid product, I will keep this product open, right? We found the product, we can purchase the Snipes lead, right? We can buy however many we want of them. And then what I like to do is keep this open because, again, we found a good lead just from this one storefront. So it makes sense to keep looking at that storefront to see if they have other good leads. If not, right, then we can go back to this listing. And now that we found this profitably, let's go and see who's selling this product specifically, and then look at their storefronts to see, if they have other profitable Nike leads or just any good leads in general. So I'm going to go back to the original storefront that we were looking at where we found those briefs. And I'm actually just going to go through a couple different brands here because I want to show you kind of the other process. So again, we can go sort by brands. Or we could sort by the categories. I find that works well. That works as well. We have, video games, sports and outdoors, grocery. They have mostly clothing, right? Where it's Nike, Carhartt, Adidas Originals. But let's take a look at some of the other products that aren't clothing because, clothing is very, I think it's one of the easier categories to find because Nike runs a bunch of sales, Adidas runs a bunch of sales. But let's look at some of their other products to see if we needed to do more digging to find these products, because sometimes they have just different charts, different analysis than, specifically like Nike clothing. So we're searching video games. If we don't find anything, we'll go sports and outdoors. We're just going to look at a couple products here. One thing we see on a lot of these products is Amazon is on the listing, right? And now Amazon's kind of in and out on this, and it looks like they could be sharing the buy box, but there's a lot of offers on this specific product. So even though it sells quickly, right, 154 rank, super awesome rank in literally any category. We do see that it's, $22 buy box. There's a couple people listed below that. Amazon's on the listing, but they're listed at $30. So they're not going to get the buy box if there's a bunch of sellers at $20. So we don't have to worry about competing with Amazon, at least if they're staying at that $30 price. So again, 138 offers is really high. It does sell super fast. So we just want to, double check if we open the listing, how much stock is there? And then how much, does that compare to what SellerAmp estimates as how many sales per month this listing gets. So before we do too much more analysis, we just want to see, is this even profitable? Can we get it for under $10? If we can, maybe we look at the data a little more. If we're getting this for $20, right, it's not worth looking into because no matter how much analysis we do, we're not going to get it cheap enough to sell profitably. So we're just going to do a quick Google search. See, it's on sale at Walmart, Best Buy, not on sale. So yeah, so it looks like this could have been maybe a retail arbitrage find. Some Walmarts or other stores are discounting them in store, right? Because how else or Target maybe has them, discounted in store. We see that a lot with these like hyper offer listings where you can't find them online, unless maybe, Target or Walmart or Best Buy ran a major sale on this, like half off, right, during Valentine's Day or something like that. So could have been why a lot of people jumped on this listing. What's interesting about this one, though, because it sells so fast, we don't see that price dropping all that much, right? We did see like back in December, this was closer to $30. But ever since like, late December, early January, this thing has been pretty consistently at like $25, $28. So the fact that we're at $23, and again, it could be a little higher than that. We do see some sellers below, but again, if it's sitting at, $22.96, doesn't feel like it's dropped a whole lot in the last 3 months because of that. So that's a good sign for us. So again, we're not finding this profitably. So for me, it's not worth looking into any further, but that's kind of the analysis I would do there, right? I would look, $9 seems a little cheap. There's a lot of offers on this listing. So even if we do a bunch of analysis, are we even going to find it profitably? Let's just do a quick Google search. Can we get it close enough? If we can, then maybe we do more analysis to see if it's worth buying and then how many we should be buying. So we'll look at a couple more products here just to do that analysis, since we already found a profitable lead here. And then once, if we get through a couple more products, whether we find something or not, we'll wrap up the video. So, okay, so the next one here, we also see Amazon on the listing, but based on the chart, it doesn't seem like they're on the listing all that often. There's a lot less offers on this product, which is a good sign. The rank is still really solid in that buy box. Amazon does have the buy box, but again, they're in and out of it. It seems like quite a bit. Like they're not on this. They don't own the buy box a ton in the last 3 months. That's a good sign for us. So $39.99. Again, we need this for 21. I've done enough analysis here. We see that some FBA sellers, right? Amazon maybe doesn't have a ton of stock here, which is why they keep coming in and out of stock. But we see that, $42 is that cost here. So this max cost might go up a little bit depending on if we're selling it at like $42. But again, I think I've seen enough of this information here to understand that if we can't get this close to the mid 20s, it's not worth looking into further. So we're just going to do the quick Google search. If this is on sale, great. If it's not, we're going to move on, right? $39, not good enough for us. 38, 39. So obviously this was on sale again at some point. And maybe this person found a lot of these in, a store, retail arbitrage, which is why they have some video games. But for me, right, $39 is what it's selling for in store. That's what it's selling for on Amazon. So, we're not going to get it anywhere close to profitable. So we're going to move on from there. But again, these all have the similar trends so far. So instead of looking at all those, I'm going to move off of that video games and look at sports, because again, we saw that that category wasn't working for us. So why stay on something that we notice a trend of in that storefront? Either that means the storefront is not good at sourcing and they, found these, or they found them in store, right? And maybe this isn't the right storefront to look at. But since we found a Nike product, right, we can go back to Nike, or we can try a different category like sports and outdoors and see if they have any other leads there. So again, we saw some of these in the clothing category, but we want to find something that's strictly sports. So did it actually filter to sports? Okay, I guess it did. So we'll find one more lead to analyze, and then we will wrap up here. So we see this copper fit, something a little bit different here. That's kind of nice. So the chart looks pretty steady, 50. I mean, the rank is good, right? First thing we look at is the rank. Is this product actually selling? And what does the rank look like? So what's a little alarming is that the storefront has this listed at $90. The current buy box is 48, so half of that. So I don't know, what they intended to sell. They obviously wanted to sell us at 90. We don't see in the last 3 months that they could have sold it at 90. So, I don't know what's going on there. We need to look at the data more, but most of the sellers are listed at 48. So I think this is another one where, this seller either bought this expecting to sell at 90 and they didn't, and now they're just holding out, hoping that price goes up a little before they sell out. And then that 24 price might be too low for us. So instead of doing a bunch of analysis, we're just going to shortcut to Google and see, can we get this for $24? So we see that we probably need to open the listing. It might be a variation listing to check size, but there's not a ton of offers on this. The price looks pretty steady. So if it is profitable, this might be worth looking into. So we see Copper Fit here, high knee compression, $51 right from Copper Fit's website. We do see here large XL, one pair from Walgreens. Again, we don't get enough information from the title here to know if it's like a multi-pack or, do you get one pair? What's the sizes? So we're probably gonna have to open the Amazon listing here. Because the price is so cheap here, this actually gives me some hope that we might be able to find this. Okay, this is the thing, package quantity here. But because Walgreens is selling it so cheap, we might actually, be able to find this profitably. So let's look at the large XL, because that's where Walgreens has it. And they have a one pair. So we're looking at the 4-pack. Right? They don't have a 1-pack, obviously, but the 2-pack looks like they do have. So let's look at that and see what prices we have. $23. We need to get this for 11. Not going to get that cheap enough by any means here. Walgreens has a $12.99, even though if they have discounts, again, $12.99. That's for one of them. We need 2 of them for under $11. So this definitely probably had a price that was a little bit higher in the past. Yep, selling for 36 compared to 23. Now 36 still might not be good enough, but maybe Walgreens had a better discount on the product, which is why, people were getting it cheap enough here, right? If they did like a buy one, get one 50% off, well, then we're looking at $12.99 times 1.5, right? Buy one, get one 50% off. Nope, sorry. I think we're a little bit cheaper than that even, but you get the idea. It might've been profitable at one point. For us right now, it's not profitable. So Hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. Again, I wanted to show you some different ways to look at reverse sourcing. And once you do find a lead, how you can navigate a storefront to be more efficient with your time. Because if you're wasting time looking at leads and wasting time looking at categories that aren't worth looking at based on the information you get from the storefront, it's time to either move off that storefront or start with a new product, because maybe the people buying that product got it a long time ago on a hyper discount, and that discount's not available to you anymore. So you're going to be wasting time looking for products that just aren't profitable at the moment. So make sure you understand that before you spend a bunch of time on a storefront. If you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe to the SellerAmp channel, and I'll see you in the next one.